Hi, everyone. Welcome to Girl Please Podcast. It's Alina here.
Hey guys, it's Amanda.
We are so excited to have a very special guest with us today, Sarover from Love is Blind UK.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here with us today. And I just want to start off by saying, I love Love is Blind. And, seeing a lot of seasons, even this season, some people go in there and I feel like they're not there for the right reasons, but you were so genuine. You wore your heart on your sleeve. Once you walked into the pod, I was like, I love her.
Yeah.
She is so freaking cute. And I'm like, I cannot wait for her to find her person. Like, I was just rooting for you. You're literally one of my favorite people.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I was I went in there really hopeful, and I think just having, that hope and faith that maybe my person could be there. And I think that kind of shone through a little bit, and I think people could kind of see that with me.
Yeah, you were definitely such a light and so pure. We loved your energy. As soon as we saw you, we were just like gushing over
Literally
everything.
texting each other. I'm like,
Yes,
who do you love
she's
already?
So special, so very special. So we're so happy to have you here with us today. How has life been since the show aired? I'm sure it's been a whirlwind for you.
It's been a busy whirlwind. I've never felt so busy before, to the point I literally was like living in my car yesterday, and then I was like, oh my God, like my 3:30. So everybody knows I go to bed around 9:30 p.m. That's not happened since this has all come out. I've been like a late night on my phone trying to catch up with messages. So it's been a whirlwind, but it's been absolutely amazing. The response I've had, the love and support. I'm on a weird sort of cloud nine, because I'm like grieving sort of a relationship that everybody's seen, but then also taking in so much love and support and looking forward as well. So yeah, it's been a lot, but I'm really grateful for everything.
There's always a bigger plan. We are so excited for you. I love to see you thriving, doing all your interviews, your press. Everything I see about you is positive and amazing and so well deserved. But of course, we are right off of the heels of the reunion, where we did see that you and Cal are no longer together. So how are you doing with all that?
Um, the reunion itself, that probably was, besides the day of like the breakup, like it was honestly like the hardest day of my life, and probably one of the most traumatic days of my life, because you had to like speak to someone about a relationship that's ended several months ago, but also you're seeking answers with also a sort of duty to the public as well to hear the truth. So you're having to ask quite intense questions so everyone else can hear the truth. And for me, it was the first time I was hearing answers. So I was sat there processing what I'm hearing, also trying to navigate to just get the truth out so we can move on. But then also realizing like this is tough. Like, when do you ever have to sort of talk to an ex about your relationship and you've just watched yourself fall in love with this person on TV? So yeah, the
Oh,
reunion was really hard.
I can imagine. What has the healing process been like for you? What does that look like?
So the healing process, so it started for me in January. And January for me was, and I'm okay to admit it, because I feel like everyone's seeing me sort of like smiling and happy and like looking forward, which is what can happen. That's what does happen. So I love that everyone's seeing this strong side of me. But the side they didn't see is January was honestly like the darkest time of my life. And I just it was, everything collapsed for me, and I felt like, when your world just crumbles and you almost can't see the light, because everything you just envisioned in the future just
Yeah.
disintegrated. So yeah, it was tough. I had it forced me to be vulnerable though. So going through the experiment, to be so open with communication, be so vulnerable, allowed me to do that. So literally the next day, I was open with my mum, my sisters, and my closest friends, because obviously you can't tell everyone. This was a secret relationship as well.
Mm.
So you're having to function in real life, but also you're crumbling behind closed doors. But they honestly, they got me through it. And it was a lot of talking. I actually went through therapy. And it did help. So the healing process was a journey. It's honestly like a roller coaster. You have up days, down days, but it's how you come out of it later. That's what matters most. And that's what you're all seeing.
I feel like you were so strong and well spoken during the reunion. It's like almost like hearing you say this is devastating, but you came across like just so strong, and you just handled it with such grace, and I really want to commend you for that. Would you say everything was going well up until Cal kind of flipped the switch on that? Like, can you talk us through what life was like up until that point?
Yeah, so after we got married, it was honestly like figuring each other out again, which I didn't expect. I thought we knew each other really well because of the intensity of the experiment. But it almost felt like I was learning him again off camera. Um, and
Mm,
I think that really surprised me. I didn't expect there to be even a transition like that. Considering we were living together, which was kind of like doing the real world together. And yeah, it was I was learning a lot. I was realizing there was things that didn't really feel like that's what I knew about a person either. Sort of their outlook on life, how they viewed marriage, how they viewed the relationship, how they see a relationship. So everything turned. And now I've got married. So I had to then try to figure out like how to make it work. But me figuring out how to make it work was almost at the expense of like me as a person. And
mm,
there was a lot of times I tried to communicate and I realized I lost my voice and I should have been when I look back on it, I should have been stronger. I should have not just allowed my voice to be silenced. I should have then pushed those conversations because if I pushed a bit more, maybe I would have heard more from him. Um, so yeah, so for him, everything was going strength to strength. For me, it did feel like strength to strength because when I did try to bring things up, it was almost like, oh, we move on from it. Oh, we can brush it and move on. So
mm.
when you're in love with someone, you kind of take that as, oh, they want to continue. They want to keep working on it. They're doing the right moves, but it wasn't. And I see that now. I do see that now. So anyway, so things where I thought, oh, okay, we're moving on for it, moving on for it. And it just went to the point where it ended, and I thought, oh, we weren't moving in strength to strength. We were actually me being silenced and we were moving apart, and I didn't realize that. So that's why it came as such a shock to me, and I didn't understand. I really didn't understand.
Yeah, one thing you mentioned, and I feel like it kind of aligned with a lot of the guys that were on the show, but how they are on camera versus in real life. We loved Cal when we saw. As you saw with our reel, we shipped you guys. I was like, I will lose it if they do not get married.
Yeah.
And it's just super sad. But then I could also see that, like, they put up this front on TV. Everyone wants to be like a good guy, like previous season, everyone loved Freddie. So it's they want
Yeah.
to kind of do that thing, and, it's super sad. But I would say, when it comes to how things ended, I don't know if you can talk about it, but, when was the turning point of like you guys had the discussion, what he said, what you said when you guys knew you would kind of go your separate ways?
So it wasn't a discussion because a discussion is basically, two people talking. I just got told.
Mm.
So literally like woke up, came downstairs in my gym kit thinking we were just going to the gym. And I thought when he said let's talk, my head went to, oh, we're talking about what workout we're doing today because it's after New Year. I'm not gonna lie, I'd eaten a lot of chocolate and I was not even in the mood to work out. But I was like, no, we'll do it, we'll get moving. And then just the first words that came out of his mouth from what I remember was, so we're gonna end this now. And I was like, and what? Just honestly, it was
Yeah.
pure shock. And the more and more I talk about it, the more and more I realize how many women have gone through this and sometimes they don't even get closure. And I've realized like because I hadn't been through something like this before, how common it is and it's horrible. And he just came out with it. It's over. This sounds cold. There's nothing to really talk about. He's made his decision. It's the best thing for both of us. And he said his three things, which didn't even feel like he was talking about our relationship, which is why then when everybody says, well, was there a thing between Billy and Cal when they were talking about us a few days before, a week, up to a
Mhm.
week before? Um, do you think there was like like something happened for them to end both your relationships at a similar time? And I said, well, the three things I heard didn't even feel like they were about us. So
Mhm.
yeah, and that was it. And then he said, I said to him, like, can we talk about it? And when I saw the look in his face, I knew because Cal's stubborn. Once Cal makes a decision, that's
Mhm.
that. And I knew it. And I
Ugh.
thought, when I got told, oh, you're more emotional, I just remember feeling the tears just roll straight back in me. I thought, hold it together, Srover, walk away, and that's it. Because I thought if he needs time to think or anything like that, he'll reach out. And his reaching out was a few days later. And the end of that message basically said, have a happy, healthy, wealthy 2025 kiss. And that was the end of that message.
I can't even imagine. Like,
Yeah.
that's just so sad. Like, especially when you commit to something like marriage, you would think someone would fight for it. And to be
And
that
that's what I
dismissive. Ugh.
say. Yeah. And I think, like, generally, when you're fully in love with someone, like it's true love, there must be some sort of conversation, some sort of fight. Like, I get it. He's mentioned before that, oh, but when you end a relationship, you don't talk it through. That's true. But this was a marriage. We had literally just done our vows and signed a marriage
Yes.
certificate 3 months before. So for me, that's doing a long-term commitment. So I thought then if you need to work on something, then you work on it. And you at least try. At least try. If it doesn't work out, that person can then be like, well, I did try. It's not working for me. I'm in an unhappy place. I'm going to walk away. And it would have been hard, but at least I would have felt like this was a real relationship.
And I have to say too, like sometimes you just have to give yourself grace because you're like, oh, I said I stayed quiet, I brushed it off, this, that. You're going
Yeah.
around in your head, you're looking for the good, you're showing up genuinely. You're like, okay, this guy married me. And sometimes you just want to
Yeah.
keep the peace. And I understand that. And I feel personally like I've been through that too. And one thing that has really helped me is like sometimes you realize that when you're trying to keep the peace outside, like you're holding the chaos inside of you. And like what and
Yes.
this is your first time in love, right?
Yeah, I realized that was it was my first time, my first falling in love and my first heartbreak. So
Yeah.
tough.
Oh,
And I'm so sorry that this had to like play out like this, but sometimes it's like you're going to realize one day like how this overwhelming feeling of a reciprocated partner is going to be everything you deserve and more, and like this experience propelled you into another life, and I'm really excited to see your journey and what's coming next for
the
you.
person you
And
end up with.
yeah, yes,
You have no
Oh.
idea. I'm so
and the
excited.
person you become,
Ugh.
and all of it. Have you guys spoken since the reunion?
So we had a wrap party. Well, no, sorry, I'll go back to the reunion. So after the reunion, he said to me, he goes, "Oh, it'd be nice to grab a coffee and talk." And I was like, I've just walked off the couch, and after everything that was just said, I was just baffled. And I said,
Mm.
I think I just said that this is too much right now. And then he goes, "I'll message you." And when he messaged me, I realized what's the intention for messaging me? And the messaging kind of felt like he wanted us to be friends for when this all came out, then he could kind of say, "Oh no, but Swova's fine. We're friends. We're good." And I felt like I'm not going to give that to you because actually, Cal, I wasn't good. I was in a really dark place for several months.
Mhm.
And where were you then when I needed the conversations? And I knew the conversations back then weren't for me to get back with him at all. They were for me to actually just figure out what happened, because I put a lot of trust in. To marry someone, you've put in a lot of trust. And the last thing I wanted was to walk away from that and thinking, I can't trust a man again. And I didn't want to have my future destroyed and allowing myself to have my future destroyed. So I just wanted to get answers. What went wrong? Was there anything we could have done? And I genuinely asked, and I wasn't getting anything back. And it got toxic to the point I just had to cut off communication. So yeah, after the reunion that happened, and I just didn't trust the intentions. And then we had a wrap party, and I finally decided at this point, I felt so uncomfortable. I was so anxious at this wrap party. And that was supposed to be a celebration for us, a celebration of everything we went through, the growth we had, not a celebration of obviously the relationships, obviously Meg and Kieran's, of course, but it was just the end of a chapter. And that's what I wanted to celebrate, an end of a chapter, my learning, my growth, and looking forward. And he wanted to talk. And I was like, at this point, I'm having the worst night ever. And we're all dressed up, everyone's around us supporting us. So I thought, fine, let's talk. And it was for my own sanity. What I got out of that conversation was nothing,
Mm.
nothing at all. And in the end, I just had to say to him, I wish you well. I'm sure you wish me well. And let's just go our separate ways. And, let's not get nasty. Let's not come for each other, because that's not us as people. And that's how I left it. And we both
That's
left it.
not you. That's not you for sure.
Yes.
So
So
yeah.
I want to talk about Cal recently going on a podcast, and I promise we're almost done talking about
Yeah,
him. I definitely want
because
to move
Yeah.
on from
we
him.
do not want to talk about
But
this man any longer.
he did say that the experiment made him realize he's better off being alone and that he doesn't think he's wired for a long-term relationship. Is there anything you would say to that? How did you feel
Yeah.
hearing that?
So me hearing that is, if your brother already had mentioned this about you several weeks before you married me, that means you knew this about yourself as well. Like, your siblings know a lot about you, but you also know that about yourself. So, and his track history with previous relationships all being under a few months means he knew this about himself. And he actually said to me, before, like, he's never been able to be in someone else's company too much and things like that. So that was nothing new to him, which made me feel like maybe these were new feelings he felt with me. And he took it as, well, I feel like I'm in love with her. This is all going great. Why not marry her? So he took it as that was that. And what's sad is, on retrospect, if I asked him, like I did ask him again, now you know this about yourself, would you have still married me? He said yes. And I was thinking, but why? And what it is because he based it on the emotions of how he felt at the time. And that's it. So I felt like I was, and I keep saying this because I was his experiment in the experiment. When I walked into it, I knew I was ready for marriage.
Yep.
Yep.
I knew marriage takes work. I knew what commitment was,
Mhm.
and I knew I would work on that. So, and the things we discussed about what marriage meant to us both, that's how I continued. But for him, it's almost like maybe he was telling me what he feels marriage is and what he wants it to be and hopes he can be in that. But he didn't ever make it to that.
The saddest part about all that is we talked about the brother scene,
Mhm.
and I remember watching that for the first time and I'm like, hush, like sometimes you meet your person and you change, and I thought
Yes,
that was, so
yes.
I was like, I'm ignoring what the brother said because sometimes it just takes you meeting that person to be like, okay, this is my person. I want to be with this person. And now looking back, I'm like, oh, the writing was on the wall. Like, family knows best. And I was just like,
Yeah.
I wish I would have,
It was selfish
it
of
was
him.
so selfish, and his brother was literally like, "What are you doing?" Like, and I look
Yeah.
back and I'm like, "Can't you just be happy for him?" But now I'm like, he was right.
Yeah.
It was sad to see.
His brother, honestly, his brother was happy for him. His brother's just very real. And I
Mhm.
honestly respect his brother for that. They were never going to tell me that side of Cal, which that's okay. And because they were obviously hoping as well that Cal would see me and see this and he would really try. And I think even if I knew what his brother had said, I was so in love. I think I would have seen it as, well, he's going to change for me, or
Yes.
this is because he's never felt like this before, and it's going to work with me. And you do. You always feel like, oh, maybe you could be the one to sometimes change something or change a pattern. Um, so that was tough, and I think they were rooting for us. They wanted it to work. They
Yeah.
wanted him
Yeah.
to be in a long-term relationship. And the fact he's turning around saying he's happy to be on his own, he's content to be on his own. I had that all in text messages after the breakup as well, where he said all that. So that was nothing new to me afterwards. Um, so yeah.
I'm sorry. The last thing I just want to say on this is because I feel like a lot of people that listen to us are young women, and I'm with age. I've learned this, but you want someone that's in a good place. Like you don't want you don't want like someone that's a project. You want someone that
No.
wants the things you want, not
Mhm.
like oh they're gonna eventually get there. Like no, I think it's best to wherever you are mentally find someone that's exactly there wants the same things, and then you go from there.
If you
I
want a long-term relationship,
Exactly.
for
Yep.
sure.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
it's just a lesson learned. I would have been exactly like you. I would have been like, you know what? I'm the one. He's definitely going to change for me. So you were so
Yeah.
human. You were very human in this.
And when you sign up to the experiment, I guess that's what you're doing. You're saying that you're ready for marriage, regardless if you meet someone or not, because the whole point of it is if you meet someone and you fall in love, you're going to get married.
Yep.
So I feel like sometimes then it does come down to the intentions of going on the show. And a lot of people have said to me, well, what did you expect? It's reality TV. Did you really think you're going to meet your soulmate and you're going to have a successful marriage? And I would say, well, yeah, because look at the success in America from Love is Blind. Look at the success from
Yep.
season one, the UK one as well.
Mhm.
So, and you just trust that those who sign up for it are ready for marriage already. They're
Agreed.
not there to just use it as an experiment to learn about themselves.
Yeah, I would say Love is Blind is unique in that aspect. If you sign up
Yeah.
for this show, it's an experiment for marriage. And I feel we were just speaking with Anu, who was wonderful, by the way. And she
Yeah, she
also
is.
sang your praises. She was
Oh,
such
I
a
love
light.
her.
But we were saying how it's like the women were so incredible who
Oh,
showed up on this season.
amazing.
And there was just such a theme with these men just not being ready.
Or genuine at all. Like,
Yes.
we loved so much of the guys. And then when
Yes.
we went to the reunion, I was like,
We were just
I
gasping
know.
the whole time. And it's a lot of like what you said too, because you showed up the whole time on camera as yourself. And when cameras went
Right.
off, you're like, wait, why are we going backwards? Because I thought this is what we've been doing this whole time.
Yeah,
So
100%.
and it's like, go on a different show, go on Perfect Match, go on Love
Love
Island.
Island, literally.
Like you don't
Yeah.
need to go on Love is Blind unless you're ready for that sort of commitment. Do you feel like there was just like a theme of like an ulterior motive almost with these men this season?
I feel like it feels like there was now. I obviously can't speak for them, and obviously they could easily speak for why they went on the show. It's sad because that's how it feels now. At the time when you were dating them and going on the pod dates, you felt like everybody was there for the right reasons and you trusted that. And it's just disappointing how the outcomes have happened for so many of us girls that we can't all be the problem. Us girls can't all be the problem, and that's what it comes down to.
Yeah. Okay, we have to ask this question, and
Yeah, I was wondering
we
if we should skip it. But
we
go ahead, yeah.
already know the answer,
yeah.
but
Okay.
when I tell you, we put out questions to our audience, like when we
Okay.
announced that you were coming on, and we were flooded with this question. So we're just
Okay.
going to ask it, and you can put it to rest. And the question is, it was very much our most requested question. If Cal apologized and expressed regret, would you give him a second chance?
That's such a good question because how many girls and women have been in that position
Mm-hmm.
and have actually gone back? Um, Unfortunately, it comes down to during the marriage itself, those 3 months, I lost myself as a person. I became a shell of
Okay.
myself. I lost my spark. And I think a lot of people realize that around me. But if that happens, you're not in the right relationship.
Agreed.
So if he apologized, anything like that, how could I go back to that? Because I wasn't the same. He would have to change so much of his personality for me to ever go back, meaning you see marriage in a different way, you see commitment in a different way, you view me as an equal, you're able to put me first. Like there's such a long list.
Hmm.
So no, I wouldn't be able to go back. And it's hard because there's always that part of you where you're like, oh, but you know, but no. I
Mm.
have to be strong in the fact that no apology will undo what I became during those 3 months.
I
You're going to
mean,
make me cry.
and I would say too, it's tainted. She knows me. I'm very like dismissive in a way. Like once I feel tapped out, or like you said, not myself, I'm ready to move on. Like, but I'm really big at over communicating. So you'll get the hints before it comes to that. So I really try. But, I would just say with everything, I'm so proud to have watched you. I think it was
Thank
still
you.
beautiful. And even though it did not work out, we wish him the best, but I know you are going to do amazing things. And I cannot wait to meet your
Yes.
future husband.
Yes.
I want to be invited to the
Me
wedding.
too.
She always wants a wedding
I always
invite.
want a wedding.
Okay. As we wrap up this portion, what advice do you have for someone going through heartbreak?
What I would say is if there's someone going through heartbreak, just be open and vulnerable with the closest around you because sometimes we feel like we can handle things on our own and sometimes we actually just need a bit of help, and it's not a weakness to have help. It's actually a strength to be vulnerable and say, do you know what, I am struggling, I'm going through a heartbreak, I need you guys. And it does get better. Time does heal, and you will eventually meet someone. It might not be straight away, but give that healing time to yourself to just work on yourself because every relationship, every situation you go in life, you do learn something.
Mhm.
And you'll be better for it. Trust me, you'll grow from it, you'll be stronger. look at me. I went through a whirlwind. I got married. I'm about to get divorced in a few weeks. I can stand here with strength. And I'm not standing, actually, I'm sitting. I can sit here with strength, and they'll be able
Yes,
to as
girl.
well.
Uh,
So life does not end because a relationship ends.
Love that. And the only thing I would add to that is we're huge advocates on therapy. I think therapy, everyone
Yeah.
needs it when things are good, bad.
Yeah.
You know, there's times where I'll hop and I'm like, I'm doing great. Like, and then when they're, well, what's
Yeah.
so great? I'm like, life. I'm
Yeah.
just, you know, like, so I think that's so important, but so well said. Especially time. Like, people think it's the end of the world in the moment, but a few months, a year from now, you'll just look back and be like, oh, what time wasted.
Yeah.
Look how beautiful my life is now.
Yeah.
Oh,
And
love that.
And
one
then when you're in the right relationship,
Mhm.
that's when you'll realize why you went through what you went through.
Exactly.
It's horrible.
100%.
We wish we don't have to go through heartbreak,
Mhm.
but unfortunately, life really is a journey and it has those ups and downs.
And I think a lot of times too, as women, like we just try to fit into someone's life, and sometimes
Yeah.
we stay quiet, but then you learn when you're in the right relationship that they'll fit into yours, and you'll be able
I
to
love that.
really like blossom and be who you are, and it will be easy.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's so well put. I like that.
Can we talk about her
I
gorgeous
was just going to
family?
bring up family.
Oh my God, your mom, your sister,
Sister,
the
just
gene pool, you.
Beautiful family.
Oh,
That's
my
what it was.
God.
Cal was like,
Thank you.
this family's so beautiful. How dare I come into this family?
He's like, I can't say no to
I know.
this. Gorgeous. We love your family.
And even the support they gave
Thank
you, which
you.
was, you know, I don't know if it was like the Netflix editing, but, you know, at first I'm like, oh, they don't look like they're okay with this. But then towards the end, I was like, oh, they're so welcoming. They were, you know, they just want you
Yeah.
happy and they're so protective.
Yeah.
And it was just so beautiful. And even at the reunion, your mother like was just so amazing. And having
Oh,
that support is
yeah. I was
just,
so proud of her. She honestly, I was like, I think before she started speaking, I was like, please make me cry. I was like, please don't talk, please don't make me cry because God, the strength she had, I was so proud of her.
Well, you see that strength in you as well.
Oh, thank you.
Why don't you tell us about you? What's something maybe people may not know about you, something that didn't come across on the show?
Um, like, do you want something funny or
Yeah,
like something
anything.
like
Anything,
Just
yeah.
anything. Like, let's not talk about, we don't have to talk about that
like,
man
what
anymore.
brings you joy? Is there any like hobbies you have?
Yeah.
so what brings me joy? Okay, so I'm putting this out there so they can sponsor me because I love Magic
Let's
Stars.
go.
It's a chocolate. Oh my God, it's a chocolate and I'm absolutely obsessed. So I can eat, I've actually got some down
What is it
here.
called?
I can eat
Magic-
Magic Stars.
Okay.
I gotta
Ooh,
try
yeah.
it.
Oh, it's literally like I can live off them. So one thing about me is I absolutely love chocolate. And when we were filming, if I was having like a bad day or I was tired, chocolate would just appear out of nowhere. And I'd eat some. I'm like, yeah, I'm ready now. I've got a smile on my face. I'm good to go.
You're like, this is what
So,
got
yeah.
me through my breakup. Sponsor me.
Magic Stars, you better
Yeah.
you better
Yes.
send her lots of
We'll
candy.
clip this. Like, absolutely.
Yes.
Yes. I love that. I love that. Are you like a sweet tooth person?
I'm more of a salty person.
Yeah. So would you say you're
Oh,
more
no.
you're sweet
Sweets.
tooth?
Oh my God, I could live off just everything sweet, chocolate, sweets, donuts, yum yums. I'm
that's
like
great.
obsessed with sweet food.
Pro tip for future men, bring her sweets.
Oh,
Oh
I
no,
love that.
don't because I'll fall for that straight away.
Oh my God.
okay, we have to know. Are you currently single?
I am currently single. I was not emotionally ready to date whatsoever this year.
Okay. And do you still feel like now, like if the right person came along, you still kind of want to take you time?
I feel like I'm ready now. I feel like it finally all came out. Yeah. And everybody knows where I'm at and I'm ready for the future. Like that chapter's closed and I've done my healing. And yeah, you'll have days you're still healing, but I'm ready now. I mean, I'm ready to finally, yeah, start dating. It's been a while.
Are there any Okay, Amanda.
I want to play matchmaker
She's
so
a
bad.
matchmaker queen.
I have no
She
one
will
in mind
literally
yet,
put
but-
I have to stop her because she will put you and whoever in a group chat and just make you guys talk. Are there any cast members you've had your eye on, or in other shows, somebody that you have a little crush on? You want to put it out in the universe?
Do you know what? I'm not like, I don't know much about the reality world in the sense
Mhm.
of if you showed me a picture of someone, I probably 90% would not even know who it is. So there could be guys out there in the reality hemisphere, and I have no idea who they are. But disclaimer, I would love to live in America, so if you
Oh,
find anyone there,
yes.
Come
I'll
to
happily come
Florida.
over.
Yes. What is your type? What are you looking for?
I'm looking for someone who's ready to settle down. I think that's
Mm,
what it is. I'm intentionally dating. I want someone who just knows how to put someone else first, because that's something I've learned now, which is really important. And someone who just wants to live life to the fullest, go traveling, to make memories and just have fun, because I feel like I've put so much pressure in my life to do everything by the book that I've got this new release of life, and I'm like, I just want to enjoy things because there's so much to do and see in life now. And eventually, yeah, you'll settle down and have kids. But in that time between now and then, I really want to just enjoy life.
Oh, I love that. Well, listen, come to
Yeah.
Miami. Plenty of fish in the sea here. We can
yes.
be besties.
Yes. We'll
We'll
take
make
you out for
sure
drinks.
I'll make sure I'll fully vet these men for you. Don't you worry.
Yeah.
Do
I would
background
love
checks.
that. A bottomless brunch, and I'll be there.
Oh, done. So, just to kind of go back on the show, is there anyone else that you've had a connection with that we maybe did not see?
No, you would have. Oh, actually, no, you didn't see really me with any of my other connections, because I was really close to, well, not close, as in my other good connections were like Demila, Jav, Patrick, Jack. But you wouldn't have seen any of that. You didn't actually see my other dates, but you saw snippets.
What do you think watching back, like those, how those people's stories unfolded? Like Javin, maybe specifically, or Demila?
So with Demila, it's hard to look back on it, because when I was living it, I was so close to Katisha that I knew the day in and day out the emotional struggle she was going through, the pros and cons list of both guys she was making, and she was so torn, because imagine you're in this experiment and all that you can do is listen to someone, and you've
Mhm.
got one person who's basically promising you the world, and they're so lovely, and it almost seems too good to be true, unfortunately, because you're almost thinking, is this real or is it not? And then you've got someone who maybe is giving you bits here and there and not much, but you're like, but this seems a bit more like it could be real.
Yep.
So I feel like in that situation, it's really hard to honestly let your guard down and trust sometimes. And I really felt for her, because we're all screaming at the TV watching it. Because obviously I wasn't there
Same.
either. So I was watching it for the first time with you guys, thinking, oh my God, this is not happening. But
Mhm.
I, behind the scenes, I knew how it all would have unfolded like
Mhm.
that.
So, I'm just curious. I feel like you had beautiful moments on the show, and regardless of how things ended, what did the show teach you about love?
Gosh, it taught me that love, honestly, has no boundaries whatsoever. You can't follow a tick box, which is what I was brought up to follow, like expectation wise with my culture. What I realized is, for the first time ever, putting myself first, dropping all expectations and going in completely blind. As in, I never even asked about money, job, finances, none of that. I didn't even ask about somebody about what they would drive. And so I really just wanted to be like, can I emotionally connect with someone? And for the first time in my life, I felt like I dropped everything and I fell in love with someone for them as a person. So that's what's taught me about love. It's taught me that love, honestly, it could be anywhere and everywhere, and it has no tick box and no
Yep.
expectations, and you never know who you're going to fall in love with when you really, really let go of everything.
Oh, that's beautiful. I agree. I feel like you just never know. We can have standards, of course, but it's just sometimes
Mhm.
it's beautiful. I'm sure, like when it was
Yeah.
happening, it was so nice and lovely. And I always
You
say it's
saw
so
it,
it's so
yeah. You
worth like
saw
the
me,
heartache.
like, I was
Yeah.
so happy.
Oh, you were
And
just
then you come out better for it.
literally like regardless, you
You
learned
do
so much.
eventually.
Mm-hmm.
While the show may not have ended in a love story for you, you did find love in other places. You have some beautiful friendships out of it. Who are you closest with
Yeah.
from the
So
girlies?
I'm so Ashley is my ride or die.
Ah,
We went through so much together. And honestly, she's the most genuine girl you'll ever meet. She's so lovely, like heart on the sleeve. She'll put you first. And yeah, like literally found a sister in her. I never had a big sister, and she's only like a year older than me, but I feel like I've got a big sister in her. And then Barda I'm really close to, Anu I'm really close to, Katisha I'm close to, and then Yolanda and Laurie, which you don't really meet on the show. So many friendships.
And they're such like amazing, strong
Yes.
women. You went through similar experiences, especially with Ashley. And I feel like your
Yeah.
timelines, unfortunately, whether not planned allegedly, like really matched up. So you had each other to lean on.
Yeah, honestly, I remember speaking to her and I made that phone call. I was just crying. I don't even know how much I really said. And she was there for me. And I didn't realize at the time what she had just gone through because I was completely like just I couldn't even process anything. And then I went to her house a week later and as I finally was talking, she was like, I swear, but she goes, yeah, I'm literally going through the exact same thing. And I was like, wait, what? And then she goes, no, like it's ended for me as well. And I was like, and that's the strength she has, that she was there for me, and it took her till the end of us having she loves Team Biscuits, so we're having loads of Team Biscuits. And it took her till the end to finally tell me and open up about what she was going through.
That's so
I
selfless.
feel like her story was
Yeah.
super sad too because I was hesitant on Billy. I was like, he's not as sure as she is.
Yeah.
She just was
Yeah.
so genuine, came in with pure intentions. She wanted to fight for it even before marriage, and I was just like, oh. And then I was hopeful. When he said yes, I was like, great. Like they can literally just start their life and things can get better. And then when I saw their union, I was like, I just want to kick all these men.
It's just that you know what it was? It's like they didn't show up as an equal partner. Like even something so small, you look back as like going to the market and not being like, yeah, you
Yeah.
love this. Like, let's get it. Put it in the cart. Like, why is this such a big deal?
Yeah.
You know?
I
And
think it's almost like that's what you're saying about being an equal. That was just such a small snippet of something like a small situation, going grocery shopping. Oh, I said grocery because I'm talking to you guys. Going food shopping. And then, yeah. And then you realize, hang on, someone's been a little bit more selfish because they don't have willpower, but they're not looking and hearing you as to why do you want your treats? And also you shouldn't have to justify that.
right.
Like if somebody saw my cupboard, they'll be shocked to be like, how's this girl not got diabetes yet?
But the thing is, like, you're living together.
Mhm.
And what she's supposed to, like, in her own home now, sacrifice something that she would have because of, like, his willpower. Like, come on. I think it's just,
Yeah.
it's telling.
And consistency so big. Like my boyfriend brings me flowers every week. And there's times where I'm like, babe, these didn't even die
Oh,
yet. But he's just like, he's like, I just don't want you to like ever. I don't want to miss a week and then you wonder if something's wrong. Which is
And
cute.
you
I love
went
that.
through a lot to get to this place where you're like, I won't accept less than someone showing up for me
yeah.
the way I've always shown up
And
for
at first
them.
I'm like, is it a lot? Like, is it like princess treatment? But then I'm also like, it's sweet. It's like thoughtful, and
Yeah.
I never thought I liked flowers as much as I do now. Okay.
I'm terrible with flowers. They last like 2 days in my house and everything will die. So
Well, that's
I'm
why
the
you're getting
worst for
sweets.
flowers.
Yeah, that's fine. You like sweets. Okay.
Exactly.
So I want to go on the other end. Is there like, not to throw shade, we can keep this super nice, super classy, but like, is there anyone you weren't too fond of? Guys, girls, anyone part of the cast?
Um, I think it's when you look back on it, you're in such a situation that's not normal. You're with the girls all day, you're dating the same guys. It's emotional torture at times. And then you're also trying to be friends, you're trying to be there for each other, but you're also trying to protect your relationship and your dating experience. So yeah, there were, I think, look, Sophie's one of the girls and she's reflected so much now, but at the time, you can kind of tell there was a bit of a divide there. And it's just the way it all was. And we've all, there's been apologies, everyone's moved on, everyone's grown. But I think, yeah, there was a little bit of a divide. With the guys, to be fair, not really. I was very much like, I'm dating, I'm having a good time, I'm getting friendship dates now because everybody knew Cal was my number one and he was my strong connection. So yeah, I made a lot of friendship dates happen.
Was there anything watching the show back that surprised you that maybe you didn't see? Or was there any moment that was left out that you were like, wow, they didn't even show this?
I would say probably the one of my situation was the dinner with mum and my sister and Cal, because it goes from, God, such an awkward beginning to then mum giving her blessing. And you can tell there was tears in all our eyes because in the middle of that, it was really wholesome because mum would not have obviously given her blessing if there wasn't more to my accent
Sure.
and the fact I love fitness and the fact she did a good job raising me. And I think the other one was just seeing Jav behind closed doors.
Mm.
I think that really was really difficult for me to watch. And yeah, my heart broke at times. So yeah, that was hard.
A lot of our listeners actually wrote in and asked about that scene with your mom because
Oh
you
yeah.
could tell it was cut up in a way to be like, he doesn't have an answer. He's so awkward. Like, I
It
feel like
was,
you could
yeah.
tell that there was more to that. And that was
I was like,
shady.
she's so sweet. There's no way
I
it's
was
this
like,
cold.
come on.
You literally see my face, and it's like that comes out of his mouth, which obviously that did, but there was more later. And I'm looking at him like, is that all you're giving me to fight for us? Like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yes.
But no, there was what you see is in every interaction with every couple, in every part of filming, there's hours happening. That's it. But yes, he did say that, but he did say more for mum to give her blessing. So yeah.
Awesome.
Did you guys talk about your decisions, like you and the girls? Like, were you surprised that Barda didn't say yes at the altar? Did you really know what was going on with her story before that?
So honestly, Barda and Jed for me were the easiest yes. I
Same. That's what
They
we
were
thought.
I thought
yeah, like
literally
all
3 couples would, like, you guys would still
Yeah.
be married. I thought you were definitely still be married. I thought Rada was going to be married. Megan, I was like, definitely still married. But I was just super surprised. Mm.
yeah.
So what?
Yeah, I had because they were so plain sailing, they were so playful, it was just there was a beautiful relationship to be around, if I'm going to be honest.
Mhm.
So I actually I think I text Barda like maybe the next day, being like, oh, congratulations,
Mm.
because I didn't think anything more. So yeah, for her to have said no, there's a very, very, very good reason because
Yep.
she's a strong girl. And actually it's easier in that situation to say yes than no. So the courage and strength she has, I've never met that in someone else. In all aspects of her life, she's a very strong girl. So she did that for a reason.
I think you, Barda, Ashley have all been just such amazing role
Yes.
models for women.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you guys are so strong and you all really gave it such an honest shot. And it's so beautiful
Yeah.
to hear like you reflecting back and what you have to say. And even Barda, we really were like, what happened? Like we were so shocked. And just to hear how strong she stood in her decision and why, it's not easy. And
Yeah.
I commend you all for while each of your journeys may have been a little bit different, like you guys have been such amazing examples of strong women taking their power back.
Thank you.
Honestly, you guys are not salty
Thank
too.
you.
At that reunion, I would have been cursing people out. I would have been like, "Oh, you have a lot to say now, but you can't." Okay, shut up. Like I would have been way
They
worse.
should have given Anu a mic because I know she would have.
her facial expressions the whole reunion.
Honestly, I could see her in my eye line. So I could see where I was sat. I could see my mum there, and I could see Anu there.
Yeah.
And both of them, I'm sure, were giving daggers at times. And I would look at mum like, oh my God, please stop doing that. And then I'll look at Anu and be like, oh my God, it's coming from both ways.
No, we were gagged. We were laughing so hard. Like they were just everybody. Like their faces were what everyone was feeling and
Literally.
thinking. And you guys really held it together.
You
like
held
it
it
was
together,
amazing.
yep.
Let's do something fun. Let's talk logistics. Okay. How does it feel dating through a wall? And could you peek?
Okay, dating through a wall is absolutely amazing because
Aw.
all that you imagine, you're in a TARDIS, it's completely pin drop silence, and this person doesn't know what you look like, doesn't know anything about you, and all that they're going to do is talk. So you're building an emotional connection without any distraction in the world. That's surreal. That's honestly amazing. You cannot see anything. I tried. I really tried.
Oh.
I looked at the wall, I touched the wall, I knocked the wall.
Is there a space? We had someone from Love is Blind US on, and I think he was saying like the camera goes like on the side, right? Does it see both sides? Does it move?
I think, oh, I'm not sure, because the funny thing with me is I never really paid attention to cameras.
Okay.
So
Mm.
like people would assume that certain pods had cameras and certain ones didn't. I could not even place
Oh, wow.
I don't know, a $10 bet on it because I would not know. So I didn't know anything to do with the cameras.
So I have a question. I feel like I'm just curious, but when it comes to you guys talking to each other? Is there any rules? Like, we've heard people say, oh, I look like this person. And then it's like, you're kind of cheating because you're giving away what you might, even if the person's like
or
way
race
off.
and
Or
culture.
yeah. Is that, I mean, I feel like sometimes accents, you can kind of tell what someone
Yeah.
is. But are you able to describe yourself, or is that like, or do they have a rule where you cannot?
No, so there's like a pod god, that there's like a voice above you. So if you do break rules like that, they will literally be like, sorry, you cannot talk about this, please move on, or do not
Oh.
continue, you're not allowed to talk about that.
Mm.
Now the only thing with culture and race, you can talk about that because even if you're a certain culture, everybody's uniquely different how
Yep.
they look. So I'm Punjabi, Northern Indian, and my sisters look completely different to me.
Yep.
So this is why they allow you to do that.
Makes
But
sense.
with me and Cal, it looks like we knew each other's backgrounds from day one. I didn't know till about halfway through. And I'm so glad because that allowed me to be completely open.
Perfect. Okay, I'm curious about this super random. I don't know if anyone's ever asked this, but
She's like, I need to write down this question.
what is the sleeping arrangement like? Is it like, are you guys like in bunk beds? Do you get your own room? You sleep in the lounge?
It's not like Squid Games. You're not in the same room or anything like that. And it's not like Love Island where your beds are all next to each other. No, so this is more like secretive. So you're in a hotel and everything's hush hush, meaning like you're ushered, like you're under the radar, everything's separate. You never cross paths with the boys, separate everything. And you're in and you're on basically in the lounge, you're ready to go.
Oh, that's nice. It makes it comfortable, I feel like, which is good.
Yeah, but also sometimes you just want girl time, so it'd be nice to be
Yeah.
like, can we just chill, like, you know,
knock on the
sleep
wall.
over.
Who is next to me?
yeah, literally. Oh, I knocked on my wall several times.
Oh my God, that is funny.
Girls were laughing because I was so in my feels and I'd play like Celine Dion and Whitney Houston.
Incredible.
But like the music I had was all remixes, so it'd be like Whitney and House, and people would be like, "What is she doing?"
Is she good?
I love it.
Yeah.
Okay, was the reveal awkward for you? I feel like I would have blacked out. Were you cringing? Were you uncomfortable?
So I cringed watching myself.
No,
So
yours
that
was
was-
not bad.
It was, and it was so cute.
No.
See what it was? I was so taken back. So when these doors open, the lights are so bright that honestly, I thought Cal was a lot shorter than he was, and I could just see a halo for a head. So I actually was seeing this body walking towards me, and there was no head. So like I'm walking, and I'm like, okay, like I'm still smiling because I'm like, you know, I'm finally meeting this guy, regardless of what he looks like still. And then as soon as he got close, yeah, that was it was whimsical for me. It was again pin drop silence, and you can hear yourselves breathe. That's how surreal it is, and you're seeing. Yeah, it was honestly a moment that is just in a moment of time that you can't describe.
I feel like the time goes quick. Like, how much time do you guys have with each other when you do the reveal?
Oh, not that long at all. It goes so quick to the point you're like, wait, but I want to know, can I not go with him to that side?
Run on that side, yeah.
For the weddings, how does that work? Do you get a say in like flowers and who does your hair and makeup?
So they have a team who does your hair and makeup, but you're always in communication. Like you are sending photos of what you want your hair to look like, what you want your makeup to look like. So you have virtual consultation. So you're very much involved. With your outfits, again, you're very much involved. The flowers, we have a wedding planner, which is amazing because honestly, Indian weddings are stressful. I know every other wedding is too, but an Indian wedding is like 10 times the stress. So to have a wedding planner, I was like, oh, I'm sat here on the sofa, chilled in my my trackies, and they're planning everything for me. And it's just like a yes, no. They're like, what do you think of this color theme? What do you think about these flowers? What do you think
that's
about this
nice.
setup?
Yeah.
And you have your say. It's really nice.
I love that you got to honor your culture also in your wedding. That's amazing.
Okay.
Me too. And it was done so well.
Oh my gosh.
So
And you
well.
looked, girl, amazing.
My questions are all like, I feel like I'm so superficial.
Oh.
The ring. How does the ring work? How do they pick the ring? Do you tell them how many carats? Like, how does that work?
Do you tell them like the shape, the kind of
Cut.
cut you like?
Or is it just like gold or silver?
Yeah. So yeah. again, you send in photos of what you would love your ring to look like, and they source out very much what you would like. I did send
That's
in, so
nice.
I didn't know what the budget was, and I basically sent in Tiffany rings as like my examples.
That's right,
As you should,
queen.
queen. Exactly.
I did. Disclaimer, I did not get a Tiffany ring, but I'm
Oh,
okay with it because I was so in love. I could have had
right.
any ring.
I
It
get
Well,
didn't
it.
matter as
yeah.
long as it was him
Oh,
giving it to me.
Yeah,
sweet.
that's the truth. Okay, before we wrap, let's get to some of our fan questions. We had a lot of people write in for
Okay.
you. Well, we picked a few. Did you block Cal on Instagram or just unfollow him?
I never followed him because as he's an ex, so I just felt like that was
Mm,
inappropriate. And I eventually have recently only just blocked him because it just got a bit toxic. I felt like I was seeing him comment on some of like my videos and things like that, and I thought this isn't okay. So I did block in the end.
Protect your peace.
I'm a block queen.
Yeah,
She has a
My
boundaries.
big block
my
list.
TikTok, I'm like, I don't like what you're saying. Block, block,
Being
block.
on like a podcast, everyone has
She'll
to.
send me a video and I'm like, I can't see it. I blocked this person.
Yeah, it's really something.
Okay, next one. So are you still open to dating men from different cultures, despite what happened with Cal?
100%, because me dating openly with an open heart and mind allowed me to fall in love for the first time. So I will continue to do that.
Love that. Okay, our listeners want to know, would you ever do another reality show? A lot of them want to see you on Perfect Match.
Really? I don't
A
know then if
lot of
perfect match
them.
because I really, so that's interesting because I just feel like perfect match isn't intentionally dating. And I feel like that would just then it wouldn't go with who I am as a person. So I just don't think that would suit me. It
We
would have
do
to be
have a
honestly
successful
something
couple though. Yeah,
Yeah.
there are people that have wed from it.
But I would,
that is true, but like I don't know, I'm
I,
skeptical. I'm really
I
skeptical.
don't blame
yeah,
you.
you're protecting your heart. But
Yeah.
would you do a different type of show maybe?
Yeah, if it's through dating, it has to be intentional like this. It has to be appropriate. It has to be I can be myself without changing who I am as a person. And yeah, and it leads to something like that. But if I'm going to be honest, Love is Blind was the only one where I saw that it could really work. So that's why I really believed in it and went for that and
Oh,
nothing else.
beautiful. So after everything, how do you make sure you stay grounded after the show? I feel like a lot's happening, but you still want to remain true to yourself. But I would say totally live it up, enjoy it. The connections you'll meet, you can meet your person through this. But how do you make sure you stay grounded?
Um, so honestly, I'm really trying to figure it out. I feel like I'm maybe not actually probably coping as well as I should do. I'm not really putting myself first in terms of like skincare and self-care and a bit of TLC. So if I'm going to be honest, it's just I need to time manage a little bit more, but staying grounded, I'm just myself. I was me before the show, I was me during the show, and I'm always going to be me. So
Uh,
yeah, for me to stay grounded, that's easy. I don't get caught up in whimsical things. So yeah.
And one last fan question, which was so sweet. Are you happy now?
Oh, this is why I love the fans because they give me so much love and strength. Like they don't know how incredible they really are. And even the ones who say things to me like, "Did you not see the red flags?" I listen to them because I then say, "Well, why did they say that?" and try and figure out myself and learn from them. So yeah, honestly, fans are incredible. I am happy. I am. I truly like in my heart I am happy. I'm still figuring things out in life and how to navigate things, but I'm happier.
What did the show teach you about love?
Oh, so much. It taught me that maybe I didn't even know what love was. It really did. It taught me that love can come from someone you just would never have expected. It taught me that love love can be blind when you have two genuine people because I fell in love with someone completely blind, completely. It's taught me that love does require work though. Every relationship does, but you can find love in different places. I found love through friendships. I found love in other ways and I found love for myself through it. So it's taught me a lot.
Oh, I love that. Okay, so on that note, overall, your experience on Love is Blind, how was that? And then would you recommend Love is Blind to someone that wanted to go on the show?
My experience has taught me so much about myself, about life, and about where I want to be in the future and who I want to be with as well, and putting the right things out into the universe. And I would recommend I would recommend the show to so many girls and so many women out there, because if you're struggling on the apps or anything like that, sometimes it will just take you to be on something like this, something so crazy you can never have thought of. But if you don't have the opportunity for Love is Blind, what my take home would be is sometimes it's hard to be vulnerable, but be vulnerable and be open minded when you go into situations, and always put yourself first, because at the end of the day, you live with yourself the longest. So your happiness matters. And just maybe, yeah, take the take homes from the experiment into your own lives as well. But yeah, we're all learning. Life is a lot of
Yep.
learning, and I'm still learning.
So, what is next for you? Do you have anything in the works?
Gosh, I have no idea what's next. All that I know is I have a voice, I want to use it appropriately, and I want to help as many people as I can out there to have open conversations who are going through similar situations with families or anything like that. That, what we're doing, dating different cultures, etc., is accepted. It's normal, and we need to normalize a lot and get rid of these taboo subjects that we've all grown up with. And you know anybody's grown up, it doesn't even have to be just my culture, I'm talking for many, many women. So yeah, I think let's see if we can get my voice into the right place, and that's what I want to do.
Oh, beautiful. Before we wrap up, let everyone know where they can find you on social media.
Oh, on my Instagram, literally Sarover on Instagram, because don't go for my TikTok. I literally just got hacked. So now I'm having to try
Oh,
and figure out how
no.
to get my TikTok back.
Leave her alone.
Wait, how dare you?
Okay.
Yeah, somebody in Bermuda took it, and I'm trying to get it back. They said I will have it back. But yeah, find me
Oh.
on Instagram. That's where I'm always on there.
And if you're single and thinking about sliding the DMs, come to me first and I'll let you know if you're worthy. If you're worthy.
She will screen them.
For you, I got you.
Thank you
And I'll
so
be on a flight tomorrow.
Yes, girl. Thank you so much for being here with us today, Sarover. You are such a light. You are everything that we thought you were and more. We genuinely appreciate your time so much.
Oh, no, thank you for having me. It means the world that you even want to hear me. So thank you.